I've been playing CS for a while now, and recently the YouTube algorithm gave me an older video that compared CS2 with CSGO. Talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And while looking at the older footage, there are some things that I personally feel I would have a hard time returning to, or I could actually say it might be a deal breaker for me. For example, the smokes and all the exploits you were able to do with them, and also the visuals. Comparing all the gameplay footage from CSGO to CS2, it feels like something is just missing. However, today we are just going to go down memory lanes of things that I genuinely miss from CSGO. But before that, guys, don't forget about the giveaway in the description below and on Discord. And now a quick word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Skin Baron, the ultimate marketplace for buying and selling your CS skins. Skin Baron is a German company with an excellent Trustpilot rating, trusted by thousands of players. Save up to 30% compared to the Steam market with over 1 million skins and easy to use filters. Finding your perfect skin is a breeze. They offer multiple payment methods including credit card, Klarna, and even more. And if you're selling a skin worth over 1,000 euros, you'll only pay 2% fees on it. Use my code Shifterz to support the channel and start your Skin Baron journey today. Thank you, Skin Baron, and now back to the video. So first off, the game modes and the workshop maps. Back then, it felt like anything was possible. Needed a custom map for a warm-up routine, there was a map for that. Wanted to run through a fan-made story or an RPG-style mission, there was a map for that. The workshop really felt like a treasure chest. It was full of hidden gems you didn't know you even needed. And while CS2 and the workshop is slowly filling up with custom maps that you can use for specific purposes, it still isn't really that full like back then. And then the old buy wheel. Sure, I've gotten used to the new menu, it's polished, it's efficient, and it makes sense. And the additional features added over time in CS2 are incredible. For example, seeing how much money you will have for the next round. But there's something I miss about seeing every single weapon in one place. For example, if you were really dominating a map and you just wanted to mess around for a couple of rounds, you were able to buy either a troll weapon like the M249 and just mess around with the enemy. However, now your slots are all filled with the weapons you really only need to play competitive, and therefore there isn't really a space for the meme guns anymore. And I have to say, I miss this strange feeling of freedom you had back then. And I think the next one everyone can relate with, and that's that rank up feeling you had back then. Man, that was something else. Premier now feels more like a long climb. You know you're improving, you see that with either the number going up or down, but overall it's slower and more subtle. And even if you had your rank up game, it still isn't really that same feeling you get when you saw that medal change. Even though I never reached global, I remember that game where I ranked up to Supreme, and after being in LEM for the longest time ever, seeing that medal change, it was like fireworks. And well, that was soon before CS2 released, and I will sadly never be able to reach my goal that I wanted to have to actually get global. And there are sadly, I think, a lot of people who will never be able to reach that goal. And overall, that feeling of accomplishment cannot be recreated with the current rank system we have. And then, map variety. One thing I really feel like is missing is the variety of maps, especially the old school ones. Jumping, for example, into a casual game of arms race and playing on maps like Lake, Safe House, Sunk Mark, or the other ones, it was just fun. The map layouts were different and were something refreshing before you jumped into a game of competitive Counter-Strike on your favorite maps. And then, if we're jumping into a game, the old school MR15 system. I have to say, I love the pacing of the MR12 system. The matches feel snappier, more digestible, but man, a full comeback on MR15, that was legendary. Or when you're really playing an intensive match and it's 14-14, and at that point it feels like every decision you take could really make the difference. There was something magical about that feeling, and yeah, you can get that when you're playing overtime in MR12. However, in overtime everyone gets 10k, and back then you still had to manage your economy correctly to win, and it's sadly just something that isn't really the same anymore. So those were some things I really miss about the good old days of CSGO. However, CS2 as a game obviously isn't all that bad. It still has some rough edges, however some things have improved. But as always, guys, let me know down below what you miss the most from CSGO. And as always, guys, thank you for going on this short trip on memory lane with me, and don't forget to check out all of the relevant links down in the description below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys on the next one.